oh God, this is God, you. God, this thing it reeked so badly too. I've had actually real clowns be upset with me. They're like, "You're ruining it for all of us.
Oh
You're
yeah.
making kids scared of clowns." I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I think John Wayne Gacy did that originally." But I
Oh,
mean, there were some things I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is depraved, Damien. What is wrong with you?" He's like, "I know." But it's like there's the one bit where I almost vomited on set. Like, oh, we're gonna get so much hate from the Christian groups on this.
what about all those stories of people fainting in theaters and having puke bags? Are these true stories?
It's very true. It's very true that we didn't have that kind of budget to put out that kind of campaign. That was all true. I saw one where this guy basically had an epileptic seizure
Oh yeah.
because he got so scared at one of the kill scenes. I'm like, oh God, no. There was another person that like passed out and they hit their head on the seat in front of them. And I was like, oh geez, I don't want people getting
Oh,
hurt. It was so much fun doing these kill scenes. I would have moments where I did something. I'm like, oh, that was so much fun. Oh my God, that's so cool. Do I get to do it again? Yay, okay. We're the punk rock of horror right now. It's just like because
totally.
we're doing the things that people are so afraid of doing because we're not afraid of pushing those boundaries or offending people. It's just like, but that's how art should be. Art is meant
Mm.
to offend. We were approached by many of the big studios, and they were throwing pretty big numbers at us for
I guess.
funding part three, but they wanted to have more control over it, and that meant that we weren't going to be able to do the things we want to do with the film. I mean, we
Mm.
wouldn't have been able to film the first 5 minutes of the movie because it's so controversial and gory. Do we want to have this bigger paycheck but not be able to do the type of film we want to do, or do we take a smaller budget? I'm still a bigger budget than we had in the first two films combined, but take a smaller budget but have the freedom to do what we want to do. Boom. And that's what we went with. And
Yeah.
I think that's why we have been so successful, is because we've had the freedom to do the type of films we want to do because we're fans of the genre ourselves, and so we make the type of films we want to see on the screen. And I think that's the problem with Hollywood now is they're run by algorithm. So they're so risk averse this day and age. So they play it very safe, and because of they're killing creativity. And I think that's a travesty. I'm more amazed now when people actually recognize me on the streets.
Without makeup, so yeah.
Without the makeup, especially when I have my glasses on. I'm like, I'm in Clark Kent mode right now. How do you, my disguise is not working. Usually the sets aren't really smelly. I mean, like
Yeah.
the blood and stuff like that actually has a pleasant smell to it.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
just like it has a sweet smell. It's like sometimes there's like chocolate in there or something like that. So it's like, oh, this smells actually kind of nice.
You don't have like real meat like they had in Leatherface. So that,
Sometimes we've used like real meat and stuff like
okay.
that for certain things, like for like intestines and stuff like that. So especially in
Wow.
part two, like when the chest cavity after I caved it in and I'm digging stuff out, they had like chicken parts and stuff like that in there. So that was very gross. That
Oh
was very
yeah.
gross. I was just like, it's a good thing they didn't pick up my audio because I'm on because you don't see my face while I'm doing it, but I'm over there just going, oh God, this is God, ew, God, this thing it reeked so badly too. It was just like it smelled so bad. And then I had to eat dinner right after that. I'm like, guys, I gotta like just decontaminate myself right now. This is horrible.
I guess Damien has already Terrifier 4 in his mind.
Oh yeah, and you get a good idea of where we might be going with Terrifier 4, and that's the one thing I loved about the script, even from the first draft of the script I read, and I was like, you cannot change this part of the script at all. I was
Yeah.
like, I loved that ending for these
Mhm.
characters. I was like, oh, that leaves them at such an interesting place character-wise, and it has me very excited to see what he has in store for part 4 with Art and Sienna if she lives.